those some Heisman candidates. Here are how some of the Heisman hopeful quarterbacks compare. Everett Golson, Marcus Mariota, the usual suspects, and then Kenny Hill bursting onto the scene. The guy on top, almost 370 passing yards per game and responsible for 14 touchdowns. That's Shane Carden from East Carolina. We're now joined by the quarterback of the team, proving it belongs with the big boys. Shane Carden, East Carolina. I'm going to pile on the compliments here, Shane. For those who don't know, you spent your first 2 seasons at East Carolina on the scout team. You played different positions, even offensive line at some point. Now you're the quarterback that a lot of people are talking about with Heisman Trophy contenders. What kind of journey has it been for you?
It's been a crazy one. I used to talk about it, 2 years on the scout team, play some different positions. But, I learned a lot about myself and just dealing with adversity and be able to come through that and get to where I am now. It's been a fun journey.
I have to think inside the locker room, you guys aren't surprised, but now everyone else catching up to realizing what East Carolina can do. How much do you talk about earning respect as a team from a non-power conference?
Oh, we talk about it quite a bit. We always have those games kind of early in the season against the Power 5 conferences. ECU's been playing those games for a while, and they've been winning quite a bit of them. So I wouldn't say it's a big deal, it's big when we beat them, but it's not something that we don't think is possible.
How much fun was it to hang 70 on North Carolina?
It was just one of those things. It was a high possession game. Our offense was doing some great things. The offensive line was playing great. Breon Allen had a great game, run the ball. And, it was just one of those things that kind of just kept scoring. Defense scored there. And kind of just before you knew it, we had a ton of points.
Your coach, Ruffin McNeil, says the strength of your team is chemistry and intangibles. How have you built that chemistry over your last few seasons?
I think just going through some of the hard times together. 3 years ago, we were kind of having a rough season. We were able to kind of pick it up from there and get to a bowl game. And then last year, having the season we did. And, every offseason, you go through the hard workouts and the crazy training, and you kind of just build that relationship you have with one another. And, our team is very close. It's a very much of a family atmosphere, very far away from any kind of business. And, we play for one another.
Your signature win this season at Virginia Tech, you sealed it with a late touchdown. We just saw it at the goal line. Then you had something to show the Hokie crowd. I want to see the tattoo on your left arm. A lot of Carolina pride there for a kid from Texas.
Yeah, I got it about 2 years ago. And then it kind of showed up a little bit last year when we played North Carolina. And there happened to be a camera guy right there when I showed it off. And that picture kind of blew up. And when we scored against Virginia Tech, it's just kind of one of those things. It goes along with how ECU's been. We got a chip on our shoulder. And you got to be prepared when you play against us because, we don't really bow down to anyone. We don't flinch, as Coach Ruff would say, and we look forward to challenges.
Well, you've passed most of your challenges so far this season. You've put the rest of the country on notice. ECU quarterback Shane Carden, the Pirates get going in American Athletic Conference play with SMU a week from Saturday. Shane, enjoy your bye week. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate Shane Carden joining us today, and East Carolina out to quite the start. Impressive wins and hung with South Carolina as well.
Aside from being politically correct with all of his answers, that's the kind of guy I would want to play with as a teammate. You're looking at a guy who's worked. He's done it all. You talk about people that start in the mailroom, become the CEO one day. Here's the guys on the scout team playing tackle, offensive line. That just doesn't happen with quarterbacks. They're always wearing the red jersey. Here's a guy that he's done whatever they need to do to be successful. Whether it be scout team or, wait his turn. And he's waited his time. They got 2 great receivers, Hardy and Jones. They both have 29 catches, so he's got some weapons on the outside. But I think it all starts with his attitude and, more importantly, the attitude of that team. You listen to him. They're not enamored with the fact that they played close at South Carolina. They're not enamored with the fact they beat Virginia Tech, they beat North Carolina. They sort of expect to. They realize they're not one of the Power 5, but at the same point, they don't see themselves as the little stepbrother or the underdog. It's like, no, we expect to go in these games and win. And whether it's true or not, you like the belief. You like the way they think. As a leader of a football team, like I said, that's a guy I'd like to play with.
East Carolina, somebody, I don't know if it was the school or a booster, put up a billboard in North Carolina that said, "This is our state," as the Pirates. How good is East Carolina, though? Sleeper? How good can they be this season?
They can be as good as they want to be. You know what I mean? Playing the American, they should run the table in the American, the way they played so far. Think about it. At South Carolina, lost by 10, and had that game, was really in that game. A few things went the other way. That's football. And then beating Virginia Tech and then North Carolina the way they did. So they've taken care of some of the Power Fives, so to speak, so far. So they shouldn't have any problems in the American. Now it's just a matter of not stubbing your toe, not losing to somebody you shouldn't lose to, because now the expectations are there. You're no longer flying under the radar. You're ranked. You're in the top 25. People expect you to win now.
They are, and after a bye week, they'll take on Southern Methodist University.